Yeah.
And I know we beat the Colonial pipeline thing up to death or whatever, but I saw the CEO was talking in front of Congress, and it was a password that was compromised, right? And so it's those type of things. Like there was no multi-factor behind the password, and it was easy to get in. And then I go back to my IT director days and think about, well, how many times did we have some type of backdoor in so that we could get into the system? And then
Right.
that's just sitting there waiting to get exploited, right? Like another VPN profile that doesn't have multi-factor enabled on it. So in an emergency, we could jump in and get on the system, or it's at some DR facility or DR site, or now it's the cloud, right?
Right.
Like you have all these point to point VPNs that you set up between your local data center and the cloud. So maybe you're not doing the multi-factor up in the cloud, but you are on your local VPN. Well, there's a loop around that, right? And those attackers will find that.
Yeah, there's always like this balance, it seems like. I mean, like you bring up a great point, Brian, is like, if I kind of go back to my, network engineering days, I was always like this battle almost of like, the security team wants to make it hard with obvious reasons, and the network team wants to make things easy, for their life to manage and deploy switches or whatever. So you kind of have some of these, somewhat kind of hidden, kind of almost, IT backdoors, but if those get compromised, and they typically have full access or full reign. And, even comes back to our conversations, which we talk about is like segmentation. Hey, making sure things are really locked down to where if someone does get into some entry point or kind of hidden entry point, um, we want to make sure that, things aren't getting, sliced up and, you have kind of full reign. So, it's also like they said, making sure that multi-factor, whatever it might be, is, across the board and not just like on some devices. Like, if you kind of MFA your Office 365, great, but you don't MFA your, ER system or HR systems or whatever, then it's like, well, like what's the point? It's kind of almost, it has to be all or nothing in my opinion, right?